Okay, this is what the assignment looked like. Let me show you. So what we wanted was a HTML program based on just naming the profile to be a profile.html to create an online professional profile to demonstrate the minimum use of these kind of listed tags. Okay, that is what was the need. All right, and the profile that we shared was this profile that looked something like this. It's a screenshot, or we can in IT, right? They usually call these as mockups. Okay, and these are the mockups of actual what is required. All right, and as you can see, there is an image. Image has got again a name of a person, then the designation, the location, email, and phone number, and all that. There is a section we might call it as a skills, and then there is a language and work experience. It has got all the different work experiences under it, and then education. Education also has a lot of things, and finally at the bottom you can see the footer. This is what was needed, and this is what was expected of you guys to have it. All right. And now, I mean, it was straightforward, right? I mean, no big deal in this. But meanwhile, if you want, what we can do is we can go ahead. I'll just try to create that for you. The need was just to go ahead and create something profile.html. That was the file name that was requested. So that is the very first thing you can do is have that one ready. Try to increase the font size here so that, and create a boilerplate first, and maybe I can give here is a online professional profile. That is the title that I have given. And next what we need is maybe I'll add a header. Okay, and then what we can do is add a section. Okay, and in this what we can do, depending on what you have, this is a personal profile. Here is the skill set. This is one section. It's two section. I can add three sections. Okay, maybe we can do three sections. Section star 3, that's the shortcut. It will go ahead and create three sections. All right, and this section at the last I can add is a footer. Okay, I can add footer because what we can do is this is section 1, and I can do this as a section 2. This is a section 3, and the bottom right, find me on a social media. This can be a footer. All right, so this is a basic structure, and this sections can have again depending on someone joined, let me admit. Yeah, now depending on the sections, the very first thing I can put divisions as well. This is a first division which might contain an image, then another division, and so on and so forth. I can go ahead and add a lot of things inside it. Okay, now what I can do is, very first thing, in the header, right, I can include a div section. A div section can contain an image. Okay, and here I can add any images. Maybe I'll add something. I'll add this image. I can add alternate text saying that profile image, and maybe set the width. Width is an attribute. What I can do is set the width to 50% or maybe 100%. 100%, it will occupy the entire screen. Maybe I can say it's 25%. Let's say. Let's see later what we can do about it. And then I can add another division that can talk about this section. What we can see here, this is the first profile, and then we can add the name. Okay, if I add the name, that should be fine enough. And for the name, right, what I can do is I can add a p tag, maybe saying p tag, let's say what we have given, Puja Patil, right? So let's say this is the first one. And then We can add the other parts, maybe a personal or professional, inside the next section, where I can add in the section, the very first section. I can go ahead and add these three: one, two, three, four. All right, can add four paragraphs. That should be good enough to say first is designer, and then let's say Bengaluru. That's a location that I'm trying to add. Bengaluru, comma INDI. Guys, let me know if I'm going too fast. Okay, I'll make a pause and let you know. All right. So what I'm trying to do here is created a header section. There is actually a section tag. In the header, we have a image, and then we have a profile name or a username inside the p tag. This forms your header, and then at the footer, we have creating this section. Okay, we are putting all this into another section, saying what the person does, what is the location, and again, email ID. Let's say abc@example.com. I'm just adding something, and then write a phone number +91. Just a phone number I have added. And now with this, just if I see the screen at for the output, this is how it looks. Okay. And now what I can see is this is not appearing bold like the way it is appearing. What I can say is, instead of giving it a P tag, what I'll do is I'll give it as a H1 tag, so that we can utilize a H1 here, which is for heading, right? And now it looks a little bit bold, which obviously in terms with what we see here. Okay, we have added the image, we have added this designation and all that. Now let's go ahead, and what appears here is a horizontal line, right? Then what I can do is, let's go back to our code. Once this section is done, I'll try to add a HR tag. HR is for horizontal rule. And now what it will do, it will create this horizontal rule kind of. Okay, are you guys able to see this? So this
Yes,
is
sir.
horizontal rule. All right. And then what else is there? Then there is some kind of a subheading which says skill. Okay, and then we have other aspects to it. Okay, and if I give this as a this kind looks like a subheading, let's add this as a h3. I'll tell you why I'm adding this h3, because I can utilize h2 for this and h2 for this. Education will be h2, work experience will be h2, whereas skills and languages will be h3. So what I'll do is, I'll put this and this into two divisions. Okay, in the same, let's say this is the section that I have chosen, so I'll create two divs, two divisions, and the first division will contain a h3 tag, and that says skills. Okay, and skills will contain what? There is skills, and again there is percentage, skills and percentage, skills and percentage. For that I can go ahead and add, let's say 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8, right? So I'll add 8. 8 means 4 are the figma whose skill set, they are rating themselves as 90% yeah, in their skill rank. Adobe Photoshop, which is 80%, Illustrator with 75%, and media is 50%. So one, two, three, four paragraphs and four spans I'll create. Okay. Paragraph, let's say four, and each paragraph after that, what I'll do, I'll add span. Okay. So I'll just copy this and I'll add it here. I'll add it here, and then I'll add it here. All right. So I have h1 tag, h3 tag, then there is a paragraph, 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 paragraph. Okay, four paragraphs. And guys, mind you that this is just one of the ways you can build the HTML. Okay, it is not the only way, mind you. Okay, if I am building this way, there might be a way that you guys can go ahead, instead of divs that you create, you don't need a div, you remove the div. Okay, that's well and fine, and directly say h3, and instead of p tag you can go ahead and use any other tag, maybe div tag here. Individual is a div tag, you can do that. Okay, ultimately what matters is how you are going to rate, how you are going to style that, use them in your css, and build a website. So in technology, right, there is not a single way to do the things. There are multiple ways to achieve the same thing. It's just up to you how good, or how you design the things, and how you build the things from this, from the top. Okay, that is what matters ultimately. And again, there are industry best practices. Again, there are coding conventions, and the ease of doing things, all that. If you go ahead and learn them, and that comes with experience, that comes with learning and doing the things, and that will make you a better developer ultimately. Okay, and now what I have, let's go ahead. Where is the screenshot that I had? uh, let's say, I closed it. Let me open it. Okay, yeah, here it is. So what is this I am having? uh, First is a Figma. Okay, I'll add Figma somewhere here. Let's say this is Figma, and then in the span I can say 90 percentage. Okay, then percentage, right, not ampersand, percentage. And then there is Adobe Photoshop, right? Photoshop, which is how much percentage it was? It was 80 percentage. I can say it is 80 percentage. Then Illustrator, which is what? 75, and media is 50. Okay, 75 percentage. Media is 50 percentage. Let's see how this looks in our output first. Okay, this is what, yeah, this is how it looks, and this is how it is demonstrated in the output as well, which matches what is expected of us. Okay, there is a section that we have, and then there is a skill section, and each section has got the way that we can put across. All right, and now this we have completed, and now let's jump on to what is next. We need to put a languages. Okay, English, Kannada, and Hindi. Let's go and do that. So again, for that, what we can do is like this, what we have created a div, we'll utilize the another div. So it contains a paragraph, which is 3 paragraphs, and then we'll add a span here. Okay. So I'll just add a span, and then span. That's it. And then here, what we need span? No, we don't need span, I guess, because there is no percentage involved. So let's say English, and then let's say Kannada. Then I'll say Hindi. Okay, and here we'll create a h3 tag which talks about what languages. Yeah, languages. Now if I go ahead and see the output, again this looks right, and this is what we expected. There is a skills, then all that details, and then there is a languages, then we have 3 languages added. Okay, which is good. So we are going on the right track. Now let's go ahead and see what else we have in the mock-up. Okay, so again, there is a new section that we have created that says, is there a horizontal rule of trade? No, there is no horizontal rule. So let's say there is a work experience that we need to add. Okay. So where is that? Yeah. Let's say this is the section we'll try to utilize. And this, for this, we'll use h2 tag that says work experience. And inside that, what else we have? We have a subheading which matches with this. No, right? This is we have used h2, we have used h3, and we have used h1. Let's say for this we'll use h4, which is front end developer. Okay, front end developer we need to use, and then there is a date that we need to specify. So let's go ahead and do that. What we see here is a front end developer. Let's say for that, let's use h4 tag. as front end developer or skills and front slash skillsam.com. Again, mind you guys, here I am trying to write all the things inside a H4 tag, but ideally in real world scenarios, these are dynamically generated fields. Okay, those are you when you create or utilize libraries, kind of front end libraries, where we can say popular ones are Angular or React. These values are directly fed from the database. Okay, so you don't have to create this. Will There will be a placeholder. We can go ahead and create a variable kind of things, where you can say this might be a org underscore name. Okay, there might be some variable that is storing this value. Whenever you create that, this org underscore name will be populated, okay, when you create the templates and all that. But for us, because we are doing HTML and try to learn only the tags, that is the reason what we are doing. We are just making, or we can say we are hard coding the values like what we need to display. Okay, the first thing, the very basic thing that we are learning is usage of the tags. So mind you that, and this is a HTML sessions, right? So now we have used this, and then there is a date range that we need to use. Like for example, maybe what I can do is I go ahead and try to utilize another tag, or maybe a H6 tag. Okay, H6 tags to represent Jan 15 to current, right? Jan 2015 to current. Okay. And then I'll say I'll use a p tag in order to write some lorem ipsum text. Lorem ipsum text in Martin. Let's say I'll use p tag inside that lorem with 20 words. Okay, this is how you use a shortcut, right? P tag, a greater than symbol, which means inside the p tag I'm going to add 20 lorem ipsum words, which are 20 number. Okay, just hit enter and it will automatically create that. And now if I go ahead and see my output, okay, this is how it looks, which obviously matches with what is expected. Let me try to zoom it a bit and show you. Yeah, so work experience, this is a front end developer, working skills am, this is the date range, and then there is a paragraph, which is exactly what we wanted, this format. And then I'll add a horizontal rule. Let's say after this I can put it in a division. Okay, that will be more better, because I can add multiple divisions, and so that the selection can be easy for me. So here, yeah, I have added, and then I'll add this a little bit indentation. So this will be a first division, and then I'll try to add a HR, which is a horizontal rule. And then if I see the output, yeah, this section appears, and there is a horizontal rule at the end, which is the way that this looks. Okay, which is matching with the way this. And then there are multiple sections that can be added. So currently I am not going to add, because it's just the repetition. What I can do is I'll go to the next part of the section, which is education. Okay, now I'll try to add education. And here, if you see, the font size matches the same thing. This might be H2, then H4, and then H6. I'll try to use the same thing for this 1 2 3, and then there is a paragraph. Okay, for that what I can do is I can just copy the text. Okay, I'll just copy this section, and or maybe I'll copy this section itself. Paste, and inside that what I can do, I can add is what section? Education, right? I'll add education, education, then education. Then there is a skillsam I can add, and then there is forever, then lorem ipsum text. Yeah, some lorem ipsum text, that should be good enough. So this is how the output looks. So skills, education, skills am, forever, and then lorem ipsum text, and finally there is a horizontal rule that will be looking just like this. And again, I can add these two again in the same way. What I can do is just add a couple of sections like this, one more and one more, that will be the similar one. I can say Oh, I don't need this. I don't need this section. Yeah, I don't need education now because that is once it'll appear. Maybe I'll say NIT, then I'll say MSRIT, which is NIT, MSRIT. There is a year that can be given 2013 to 2015, and then MSRIT might be 2009 to 2013. Okay, so that should be good enough. And if I see the output, yeah, this looks good. Oh, there is no horizontal rule missing here. I can go ahead and add the horizontal rule right after this HR. What now it contains is this section, and this section. Okay, let's go ahead and see. Yeah, this is what it is looking, which is exactly what we wanted. Okay, one skill sets, this is languages, and then work experience, education, then a tree education, and then once this is done, then the last thing we need to add is a footer. So what is the footer? Find me on social media. Okay, that is what we need to add. So inside the footer, I can go ahead and add a paragraph which might say, find me on, find me on what? What's that, guys? Find me on social media. Find me on social media. All right. So that should be good. So that is appearing at the bottom, which is fine. Okay. So this is what is expected. Okay. So guys, understood this? How to build this?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Good. So maybe here we can add a horizontal rule, but that's not there in the mockups, right? Yeah, that's not there. Maybe there is a gap here. Maybe for the gap we can add line breaks. Okay. Or in when we if we learn the CSS, right, ideally there will be a padding and margin that will be created. We'll talk about that later, but for now, in order to create that gap, after what after what was the gap? Before work experience, we need to create this gap. Let's see, where is the work experience? Yeah, this is the work experience. Maybe I'll add a line here. Okay, BR, couple of BRs. That should be good. Someone is trying to join. I'll admit them. Okay. So now, if I go ahead and check the output, yeah, there is a gap now. Okay, just try to, yeah, there's a gap now, and then there is a work experience, there is education that is added, and then there is a footer. Okay, makes sense, guys? This is what you need to do, and this is how it can be done. And mind you, this is not the only way to do it because there are multiple ways you can achieve the same look and feel of the website. Okay, what I'm showing you is one of the way to do it, but the whole intention is to utilize those tags ultimately. And now let's see whether we have utilized all the tags. uh, we have utilized this one to header, we used hi head, we used title, we used main, we used heading tag, we used section, we used div, we used image, and we also used alternate and source attributes. Para we used, I don't think span we have used. No,
Yes, sir.
maybe what
Yeah, yes, sir.
okay, we have used span. Yeah, yeah, we have used span. Good. And then BR we have used, HR we have used, anchor tag we haven't used, I tag we haven't used, header and this one. Yeah, anchor tag, what we can do is for anchor tag, the ideal way is to use the anchor tag for the image. When you click the image, it can show pop up in the window and it will show on a new page. Okay, that is what we can do. So for that, what I can do is I can add an anchor tag here. All right, and this anchor tag will take me to this image source. Okay, in image source into a new window. Okay, underscore blank, and this, what I can do This will click, it will open up in the new window, that is fine. And here, this one, I'll go ahead and add it right here. This should be good. Let's see. Here is our output. Yeah, here is the output. The moment I click it, it will open up in the new window. Okay, that is what I was expecting, and that is what it is doing. Now, what is done here, guys? Did you guys understand this? What I have done? Basically, what I have done is nested the image. Okay, nesting, as you know, nesting of elements is putting one element inside another element. So what it contains here, from here to here is a anchor tag open tag. Okay, this is a anchor tag open tag, and from here to here is a anchor tag close tag. Okay, and between this open and close tag of anchor tag, I have just added a image tag. So what it means is image is now acting as a hyperlink. Okay, that is the catch here. What is the catch here? Earlier, what we have seen is text is acting as a hyperlink. Here, we have created the image itself as a hyperlink. So if you see the output, the moment I hover the mouse over the image, it is changing to a pointer. It is changing to a pointer, right? This is an arrow to a pointer. Okay, so the moment I click this, now if you see at the bottom left corner, it is taking me to avatar.jpg. That is the file that it is taking me to a new window. So you can see this window opening up in a new image opening up in a new window. Okay, that is what I did here. Okay, so understood, guys, this one?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yes,
good.
sir.
So, what we have done here is basically we try to utilize all the tags, and let's see what else is remaining. Yeah, I tag. I tag is whenever you want to add an icons, right? That is the best way to use them. Okay, the best way to utilize these I tags is whenever we use the icons. What are those icons? Let me show you. Let's say I have opened it. Yeah, now this what you see here is, right, this a trophy kind of thing and a clock kind of a thing and a briefcase. These are all called icons. Okay, so these icons, they can be represented by something called as I tag. It is the best usage for those icons. Okay, so what we can do is, maybe now it won't be visible to you completely, but there is a way that we can do is later when we learn the CSS. If I go here, for these dates, right, I can add a calendar kind of a image. Okay, I can add a calendar kind of a image right here, which might show, which might look like a calendar, and in front of that you can give the date range. That I can do it here. Okay, so here maybe for this to include a icon, what we need is a font awesome. There is a built-in CDN, which is content delivery network, which we have. We need to include that file in your header, and that will take it up when we learn about CSS, how to include the fonts and icons. Okay, that is a learning that you can do. But for time being, just say that this is the way you can add it, or you can go ahead and embed this tag inside this also. It doesn't make any change to it now at this point in time. Let's say if let's see this NIT now. So in NIT, there is no change here. Okay, the look and feel doesn't change, but what it changes is inside this, it is changing to italics, right? So now, but when you include that in your references and add that input file in your font icon, you can utilize them as a icon image. Okay, we'll see that when we do inclusion of icons. Okay. Yeah, I mean, that should be good enough. Maybe I'll add it here itself so that I can include icon here. Okay. Yeah, this is good enough that we have utilized all the tags that were needed of us. Multiple sections are added. And if you can see, there is a way that we have added one more what we have added during our initial installation of VS Code is there is a code formatter we have added, right? So what I can do is select all and press format document. Okay, it will arrange the document in a proper format using a prettier extension. Okay, just yeah, it will indent correctly. Okay, if you see, it is organized very neatly, and right indentation is appearing. Okay, with inside the section tag there is a div tag, and then there is a p tag, and all this is properly and neatly formatted. This is using format document. Just select all, right click, and then press format document. Okay, if you click on the format document, it will format in the way that, with the right indentation and everything. Okay, just save it. That should be good enough. All right. All right, with that, at least we have concluded with that assignment, and there are many assignments that we'll do when we take up CSS and JavaScript and complete that, because there is a lot of things that we wanted to do. So now, without delaying, let me try to jump into the next topic. Before that, are there any questions you guys have in this, whatever that is shown to you now?
No, sir.
Okay, good.